Right now on Up with KREM, the madness continues for the Zags as both the men and women secure spots in the next round of the NCAA tournament.
Well, if people didn't know what a home advantage meant, then they know now.
This morning, hear how the women are preparing ahead of today's big game.
Plus, a major Spokane road is closing for construction. This morning, we're helping you get around the traffic headache on your Monday morning commute.
It'll be a rainy week of weather for this final week of March, but at least temperatures will be uphill this time.
Up with KREM begins now.
Well, friends, it is 7 a.m. on this Monday morning. Time to rise and shine. Thanks for joining us. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham, getting ahead of myself. Yeah, happy Monday to you, friends. Hope you had a good weekend. Did you watch some basketball, Channing?
So much basketball.
Oh, yeah, of course you did. Thomas joining us now. Thomas, good basketball watching weather with between the rain and the cold. And I actually got some snow at my house yesterday. It didn't stick, but I was like, what is this?
Yep, and exactly as predicted, I might add. I also saw that snowfall on Sunday morning, but that's the key. I saw it. It did not stick to the ground at all. In fact, it was 37 degrees and snowing yesterday. This morning, it is colder. It's 30 right now in Spokane, and it's even 27 degrees in Coeur d'Alene, but it's not precipitating, so we're not worried about any snowfall. In fact, it's all rain chances for this week. So when those temperatures do get back into the 40s, which they will easily do by even the noon hour today, that's when our rain shower chances will begin. But I emphasize chance because it's a small chance today and it picks up in a big way later on in the week. So we'll cover that extended forecast, show you when that rain is going to be most likely.
Let's get to some breaking news this morning. The aerospace giant Boeing just announced a huge leadership shakeup. In a letter to employees, Boeing CEO Dave Calhoun announced that he will be stepping down. Calhoun has served as the company's CEO since 2019. He will stay on the board, though, through the end of the year. There are two other big departures this morning as well. Boeing chairman Larry Kellner says he will not seek re-election from shareholders, and Stan Deal, the president of Boeing's commercial airplanes, is retiring. Now, Boeing has faced intense scrutiny since a door plug blew out of a Britain-built 737 MAX 9 shortly after takeoff at the beginning of the year. Well, a heads up for drivers this morning as construction season now is underway. Today, the Thor Freya project begins and detours will be in place. So as you're heading out the door this morning, our Brandon T. Jones is joining us live near that construction site with the very latest. So Brandon, what should drivers expect this morning?
Yeah, well, this is one of those areas where it all starts in terms of that construction we see pretty much every spring and summer on the roads as the city makes improvements. You can actually see one of the signs. Oh, actually, there's a truck right there. You can't see one of the signs right now. But to give you a better idea of where I am right now, we're right across the highway from that Fred Meyer at the bottom of the South Hill, and this is where you're going to be running into detours. We actually got a map. If we can pull that up, give you a better idea of kind of where that construction is taking place. This project is expected to rebuild the two intersections at Thor and 2nd Avenue along with the Freya and 2nd intersection. Here's what you can expect. Westbound I-90 exit 283B, the Thor Freya off-ramp will be closed. Westbound drivers have three rerouting options. You can either use exit 286 at Broadway, exit 285 at Sprague, or exit 283 at Altamont Street. Westbound 2nd Avenue will be closed between Thor Street and Freya starting at 6. Northbound Freya Street will be open between 5th Ave and Sprague Ave. The detours are expected to take place for roughly 10 weeks, so we're looking at early June for when this particular project will be completed. And then also with the improvements of these intersections, you can also be on the lookout for making surface improvements. That's what the city says they'll be doing along with this project, and they're also going to be replacing some of the sewer areas out here on the road. But for now, reporting live in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Brandon, thank you. This morning, the Gonzaga women are preparing for their second game in the NCAA tournament.
That's right. After a big win in their first matchup against UC Irvine on Saturday, the Zags are now getting ready to take on Utah. Our KREM 2 sports team has a preview of what the Zags can expect tonight in the Kennel.
Gonzaga women's basketball ensured a second game of March Madness in front of the hometown crowd with a win over UC Irvine on Saturday. The Bulldogs came out on top by 19 points, 75-56. Yvonne Ejim put on a show with a double-double, scoring 25 points and grabbing 14 rebounds. Brennan Maxwell chipped in 11. knocking down a pair of threes. And Kaylee Trong had 16 points on an impressive 5 of 8 from the field. So now the attention turns to Utah tonight. The Zags spoke with the media yesterday afternoon ahead of their second-round matchup. Our Mike Boyle was in the kennel for a preview on the game.
The Gonzaga women trying to keep the momentum going as they face a very tough Utah team from the Pac-12 in tomorrow night's round of 32. The one thing that strikes both coaches is the similarities between the two.
They have great shooters as well. They move the ball and they run their stuff well. So, it's like, okay, if we help off, then we might give up threes. If we stay on the three-point line, we might be giving, so it's the same. It is a little bit of looking in the mirror in that way of game planning. And so, trying to figure out what we could be most effective in defensively that might give them the most trouble.
Both teams play hard. Both teams are veteran. I think there's all those similarities. Both teams run a lot of sets. There's a lot of different actions that we can get to. Lots of ball screens in the game. So those are definitely similar. I think we approach it in a different way. I think defensively there's some strengths that we have. We're having to pick matchups. They have to pick matchups too, and figure out who they want to guard, which Trong, who they want to guard Brenna, who they want to guard Vonnie, what they're going to do with Eliza. And there's a lot of that's similar, and I think it plays into the game plan.
Utah hoping to return to the Sweet 16 from last year, while the Zags looking for their first berth in the Sweet 16 since 2015. Tip-off at 7:30 tomorrow night here at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Reporting, Mike Boyle, KREM 2 Sports.
All right, thank you, Mike. So the Zags and Utes tip off tonight at 7:30 in the kennel. If you don't have tickets to the game, you can catch that one on ESPN2. The Zags looking to punch their ticket to the Sweet 16.
And KREM 2 is hitting the road as March Madness marches on. Our sports director, Travis Green, and Nicole Hernandez will pick up our live team coverage this week. They're now packing their bags and getting ready to head to Detroit in just a matter of days. They'll be reporting live from the Motor City starting this Thursday. Now taking a look at news from around the Northwest this morning. The state of Washington has a new plan to tackle graffiti.
Starting in June, a pilot program run by WSDOT will implement drones to paint over graffiti. WSDOT will also use cameras to identify those responsible. The program will focus on I-5 between Tacoma and Seattle and a 10-mile stretch on State Route 395 in Spokane. WSDOT said it spent $1.4 million removing graffiti in 2021 and 2022.
Now you move up and you see the 509-167 work, all that brand new infrastructure, all that sound transit, every bit of it all the way into Seattle and beyond is tagged and covered with graffiti. So it is everywhere.
WSDOT will check in with the legislature by December with an update on the program's progress.
Well, the National Park Service is now outlining plans to restore grizzly bears to the North Cascades. Hunters and trappers decimated the population during the 1800s, and there hasn't been a confirmed sighting in nearly 3 decades. An environmental impact statement proposes releasing up to 7 grizzlies in the area per year until the initial population reaches 25. Over the next 60 to 100 years, the population is expected to grow to 200. The bears released would have no history of human conflict. Now, the plan has not received final authorization. That will take at least 30 days. And spring is here, and that means it's now time for the cherry blossoms to bloom at the University of Washington.
Yeah, and this morning, researchers at UW say they're close to perfecting the formula to figure out the exact timing for the best blooms year after year. And as you may have guessed, researchers say it's all heavily reliant on weather. They started collecting data of the bloom timing and temperatures in 2018. They've since been able to narrow down that magic number for when trees reach peak bloom. The warmer it is, the faster flowers bloom. That's what happened earlier this month after a weekend of record heat.
And it was nice because that was on St. Patrick's Day. We hit 3 straight days of record high temperatures, even here in Spokane. Since then, well, it snowed yesterday. Officially a trace, meaning that we saw it, but it didn't stick. And that cold air has been spilling in from the north. You can actually see it on the water vapor loop, just very gently through the inland northwest. But it's not going to last for the rest of this week. In fact, our rain chances will pick up. That's right, rain and not snow this week. Today is the lowest chance for rain, and Thursday is the highest. Wednesday and Thursday in particular, we are expecting some widespread rain for the inland northwest.
Well, the madness has wrapped up at the Spokane Arena, but coming up in the next 7 minutes, how the University of Idaho was able to help out one of the teams playing over the weekend.